Good morning. Happy hump day. Market moving up, and we're all over it. My name is Jacob Gerber. Welcome to the stream. This is the Invest with Jacob live stream where we demonstrate now two indicators. We're going to go through both of them today and use both of them today. I won't actually post the trades for Sniper because they're literally on the screen. They walk you through exactly what to do and how to do it. But I am going to go over it, and we are going to have it on the screen so we can see it and understand how it works, because it's an absolutely phenomenal tool, and we just made incredible, just absolutely blow you away updates to it. We're going to go over those right now. It hasn't been released yet. It'll be released probably this evening after today's trading day, but it is so much better. It was already absolutely destroying, and it's so much better. You're not even going to believe how much better it got with these updates, because we found a few different things that will help us out and give us way more profit, way more higher win rate, and overall make it way easier to use. It's already super simple to use, but we've condensed everything down to one chart. And I guess without further ado, let's go over that before we get into the charts and the rally that we were looking for a few days ago. We've also been swing long on this rally, already taken profit. Our stops are well in the money, so we're doing really well there. Our swing trades doing very, very well also. So on the left here is the new version. So this over here is your new version with your yellow short, your aqua, and your blue box. And over here with the same colors but the red stop boxes is the old version. And so the first thing we're going to notice is we're on the 1 minute chart. Now we're not trading 1 minute trades. I want to be clear about that. We're on the 1 minute chart, but we are not trading 1 minute trades. On the right, you can see we're on the 5 minute chart. Okay, so this is the 5 minute chart on the right. This is the 1 minute. Now, everything is derived off of whatever time frame you select. So the first thing we did is we made everything condense into one chart, the 1 minute chart. If we go into the settings, you'll see that you can choose 5 different time frames. You can choose, I have a default set to 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, 1 day. I'm actually going to uncheck the 1 hour for now. So that means that on the 1 minute chart, it is going and looking at the 5 minute chart for its context, or the 15, whatever you have selected here. It will give you all the trades for all the charts you have selected. And then it's giving you the entry based on 1 minute pricing. And I'm going to show you why that's important here in just a second, because it's really important. So that's the first thing we did, is we condensed everything into one chart. So you can see on this short right here, it says setup time frame 5 minutes. So this is off of the 5 minute chart. Our entry is 6601. Our stop is 660675. It's hard for me to see that. Yeah, 660675, and it's a grade B trade. Okay. Now, if you look on the right, you're going to see the exact same trade for the 5 minute chart, except the entry is 660225. So we had issues getting the right entry price because of TradingView's limitations. It can only give you the high, low, open, or close of a bar, or you can calculate the midpoint. So if you can do that, well, it's calculating the open of the bar, 660225, which is a better entry than 6601. However, it's not the real entry. The real entry was 6601. So we are able now to get the exact entry so that you can get in at that price. What we were seeing is the open of the bar might have been 5-6 points higher than the actual entry, and that skews the numbers, and we didn't want that. I want very honest trading here. I don't try to cheat anybody. I give you very, very real data, and you'll see the data here in a minute. It's absolutely crazy. But I want it to be as accurate as possible, because it's unfair to you to say, look at how many points this trade got, when it really didn't get that many points. So that's an unfair thing. That was a limitation of TradingView, and we did a lot of work to figure out how to get that fixed, because TradingView can't fix it in the 5 minute chart. You can't run it on the 5 minute chart and get 6601 ever, because you can only get high, low, open, close. So 6601 is the entry price. So that's better already. We're getting a more accurate entry. So that's why it's on the 1 minute chart, because you have 1 minute bars that are the exact minute that the entry fired inside of this 5 minute bar. So inside this 5 minute bar, at some point, the entry fired, and then you get the entry price update. And we'll see it a couple more times here in just a minute when we go to a couple other trades. So that's the first update. second update after the time frames, condensing it down into one chart. The second thing we did is we trailed stops, or third thing, however many I'm saying, you'll get the idea. So the next thing we did is we trailed stops. So over here on the right, the original, you had a short entry, you had a take profit of 975, and then the stop sets to break even, and then we had a second take profit if it kept going or hit the other parameters to take more money off the table. What the new version does is it hits your take profit, and actually, because the 1 minute can give you the exact exit, you got a better price. You got 10 points over here. So 65.91 was your exit for 10 points. So you got slightly better. You got 25 cents better. And we trail stop. So when price starts to move back up, we exit at our trailing stop, which gave us a total of 8 points for both takes. So we had take profit 1, take profit 2 for a total of 8 points. Over here, you had take profit 1 and take profit 2 for a total of 5 points. So this is 150% better because of the trailing stop. So that's another thing we did to improve the trade. Now, on top of that, let me get this off of here so you're not looking at that. Okay, on top of that, what we realized is, and we'll have to go to the 15 minute over here, so let me switch this to the 15. Okay, so now we're on the 15. We had this trade, where was it? It was at 2 in the morning, right here. No, this isn't right. This is the 30th at 34. Oh, no, that wasn't it. That was too far ago. It's overnight, right here, this one. So you have this trade at 2:15 in the morning. So we go back over here to 2:15. Okay, so right here you get in the entry price again, 66.0425. Here it was 66.02. So it was 2 points worse on the new one, but it's accurate. You're getting in at the accurate price, 66.0425 against 66.02. So you get an accurate price. Now this trade is a loser. It's minus 750. Whereas this trade over here is a double winner, because what we realized is we were leaving a lot of money on the table with these big bars, waiting for this take profit to hit way up here somewhere or a little higher. And it caused a lot of losing trades. And what we realized is if we adjusted the take profit just a little bit, our win rate went up exponentially. And when you see the win rate, you're gonna laugh. So the win rate goes up exponentially because we just said, hey, this is a lot of money in futures. If you get in at 66.0425 and you get out here for 13 points, that's $650 per contract. That's a good deal. That's something I want. And you get out for $600 positive dollars instead of negative $300. So we moved the take profit and adjusted it just a little bit so that we don't give up these winning trades. This is a 30-minute move that's really nice that we should have captured money on, and over here now we do. So that's another thing we adjusted is the take profits, right? And then finally what we adjusted, or what happens naturally, I should say, is by getting accurate entry prices. So if we go all the way to the end here, I think it's a 5-minute trade. So let's go back to the 5-minute chart. So if we go all the way to the end of the run here, right here, yes, this one. So on that spike up here, you can see the short is correct here, but I'm guessing Trump tweeted something or something, and we got a quick spike up. Anyway, it happened, stopped us out. It's whatever. But by getting the proper entry, so these happen to actually be the same. There was another one I was looking at. Maybe it was a 15-minute one. At any rate, when you get the proper entry, you can get the proper stop. We were taking way bigger stops than we needed to. So this one was a minus 575, but and a lot of times we're getting, minus 9 here or minus 7, and we're getting way worse stops. So in this particular case, I thought it was different. I'm sorry, maybe I looked at a different trade, but on one of them, the stop was way different because we got the proper entry price. And we could only base our stop off of the entry price. So if the entry price was coming in at the entry of the candle, which when that one happened to fired on the entry of the next candle, which happens, when that happens, then the stop is way higher or lower than it needs to be, because if the entry is mid candle, your stop should be based off mid candle and much lower. But if the entry automatically defaults to the open, it's giving you a way higher stop, and you entered mid candle, so now your stop is extended. I hope that makes sense. So What you're going to see now is I'm going to put this on one screen because I've shown you all the differences of, oh, and then just some cosmetics. If you already have it, if you scroll all the way down, you can change the entry bubble text. You can change any of these to something. If you can't read this or you want this text to be white or blue or green, whatever you like, you can change all of this to whatever colors you want because I know that that's annoying for some people. So that as well. So we're going to send this back to one screen. Okay. Again, we're on the 1 minute chart, but we are looking currently at the 5 minute and 15 minute trades. Okay. I'm going to hit show trade log, and this goes back and monitors every single trade that's been made on the 1 minute chart for both of these time frames. Now, because we're on the 1 minute chart, it only goes back 3 weeks in time because TradingView will only give you so much data, and 3 weeks on the 1 minute chart is a lot of bars. So it only gives you so many bars. So it's 3 weeks worth of data. It goes back to the 9th of March. So we'll hit show trade log, close this. So our win rate is 78.5%. That's absolutely insane. Our net points are 590.25. We are 55 and 15 over 70 trades in 3 weeks. So that means over about 15 trading days, you're getting 70 trades. So that's about roughly 4.5 trades, 5 trades a day. Overall, on average, between the 5 and the 15. 70%, 78.5% win rate. Now, this is pretty cool. If you go in here, watch this, guys. Now, let me be clear. This is 3 weeks worth of data. You can have a really good 3-week run. This could go up or down a few points of percent, but I would expect it to remain in the 70s. So if you go to the 15, the higher the time frame, you're going to get way less trades. You get 16 trades, 14 and 2, 87% win rate on the 15 with 12, 30, 20, 18, 23, 22. Just adjusting that take profit a little bit, our win rate went up so much because we were looking for way bigger wins than we needed to. And by adjusting that just a little bit, man, and trailing stops. So just by adjusting the take profit and trailing the stops instead of going back to break even, your net points 243 for 3 weeks of 15-minute trades, 16 trades. That's insane. Just insane. So just incredible updates, guys. I'm really excited about it. If you go up to the higher time frames, there is 1 hour trades. There's only a few of them because, again, you're only going over 3 weeks of time. There's just not that many squeezes over that time. It is 100% with huge wins, 65, 40, 53, and 34. And if you go back to the 4 hour, there's one trade, I believe. Yeah, one trade for 97 points. So you're only going back 3 weeks in time right now. I can't give you any more because TradingView, again, limits that data. But every amount of data I can give you, I do. And then there's no daily trades because there just wasn't any. There just aren't that many daily squeezes that occur in a given month or year. So you only get maybe 5 to 10 of those a year. And so there wasn't any in the last 3 weeks. So that is the new updates. They'll be out later. Very, very excited about it. Proper entries, proper exits, new trailing stop updates. Really, 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 really successful. Morning, Andy. Morning, Robert. What would your trail stop be set at 10 points? No, it's mathematically set automatically, and it puts it on the chart. So if we had a real trade up here, so what happens is, okay, it gives you everything in real time. This is what's really cool. By the way, the link for this is down in the description. I've extended the March Madness deal into April. The tournament's still going on and the changes and stuff, so I wanted you guys to still be able to get into it. There's a link in the description if you want to grab it. But it literally tells you everything. It tells you we are shorting the market. Our time frame is the 5-minute chart. Our entry here, our stop here. So now you know where your entry and your stop is. Now, when it hits take profit, that's a mathematical calculation on the state of the squeeze. So I can't give you that up front. However, once we hit take profit, so let's say we come here, and this is our take profit. A red line will come on the screen and say trailing stop and tell you exactly where to stop out. And then as you move down, that stop moves down with you, and it automatically prints on the screen in real time. So if we go back to a trade here, this one happened to be stopped out, unfortunately, because it was, like I said, the correct play, but somebody tweeted something. I'm guessing. I don't know what happened. That's just a guess. But you can see right here where this says trailing stop 65, 95, 25. There was a red line here that said trailing stop, and as soon as it hit, this stop bubble fills, and you should have your fill already ready to go. So it gives you the stop. If this price would have kept continuing in the downward direction, it keeps trailing, so you can maximize your gains and minimize your losses. Yes, Optimus. I just wanted to go over that real quick. We're going to go through the charts right now. All right, so check that out if you want to, guys. The updates are insane. For that, if you already have it, which I know a bunch of you do, those will probably go out tonight, and I'll have a video on it as well. Okay, so Brad Van Adder, to update the squeeze, as you showed, once you release, it will release it. Will we just see an update on the chart and click the three dots? Yep, you'll see over here there'll be a little blue circle next to squeeze, and or you can click these and it'll say update to newest. There's not one here because there's no update. Oh, update the script right here. You can hit update this script and it'll give you the latest version of the script. Just click on that and it'll go fetch whatever the new version is. So if you're looking at the 30-minute chart, will it give you an alert on the 5-minute time frame? No, you don't look at the 30-minute chart ever. You look at the 1-minute chart. Just the 1-minute chart, and then you select what time frames you want, and on the 1-minute chart, that's the other, one more thing, real quick, guys, sorry, one last thing. So when you go in, you select your time frame. So let's say I select this as the 30-minute time frame. Any 30-minute trade will now come up on the chart. And what I do is if I go to set an alert now, I set one alert, and I can go here and hit long or short condition, and it's going to tell me and it's only going to alert me on the time frames I have set, but you only got to set one alert. You set one alert for this chart, and if you got 5, 15, and 30, it'll send you all those alerts without having to set up an alert for every single thing. It does it all at once. So whatever you have selected, you will get alerted on. So that's another update as well. All right. All right, guys. So, and by the way, Optimus City, I do a closing call every day where I give the Elliott Wave update. So if you want to go watch any of those, that's more in depth. This is more about the trading indicators and day trading and the stuff we use them for. So we're counting this as wave 3. You have your A, B. We were looking at this as a diagonal down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said when this ends, you will get a straight up rally back towards 67.26 to 68.13. We are on our way so far. They came into this resistance zone, and you can see I have the line drawn across here. They rejected it almost to the penny. We would look for them to push on through up towards 67.26, 68.13, and that's where the decision making happens. So off of this low, we're looking for this to be an ABC. So you could get a little bit of a pullback and then the C wave up. But traditionally, off of a diagonal set, you don't get much of a pullback here. You get a pretty straight up move. Diagonals tend to reverse very, very, very strongly. As we saw yesterday, it was about a 2.8% move up, over 3 on the NASDAQ, straight up. And we got in right at the open, actually on the small pullback at the open, caught over 100 points already, well in the money on that trade and doing very well. Our stops are in the money. We're doing very well on that trade. Anyway, we would look for them to hit the 50 to 618. The 50 happens to be excellent resistance, as does the 618 right here at this low that they came into. So those levels make a lot of sense for rejection. And then how they react up here is what's important. So if they reject here, and keep in mind, markets can do whatever they want. Can they go straight higher? Of course, generally they won't. So if they reject here and that pullback is 3 waves, then we would look for continuation up, and I'm looking for all-time highs, 7,100, 7,300. A lot of that will come with context and structure. So until we get an actual structure built, so we have like an ABC for A and then a B and a C like that, we will get those targets at that point. But I'd be looking for about 71 to 7,300, probably closer to that 7,300 range. If they get up to that level and give us a 5-wave breakdown, then we'd expect a small bounce off of these lows and then continuation down. And that continuation would be pretty strong into most likely into the April lows. So that's what we're looking for here over the next few weeks. Right now, we're waiting to see how this move up resolves, because the pullback off of that move up is really what tells us what's going on. Now, if you're new here and you're saying, hey, you said it could go up or it could go down, anybody could do that. They can. You're right. The key is to know where they can go up and down off of, where the support and resistances are, how to trade. You know, we're screaming down. How did we know to trade yesterday long? Well, because we saw what we wanted to see. We got the exact reaction off an area we liked. The structure was correct. and we got a trade setup. Trade setups are different than what the market can do. Trading the market is understanding what the market can do and how it reacts off of a certain level. So all of these black lines are support resistance lines. If they come into this and bounce and they get the kind of bounce we want, now I can trade long, having this as my stop, looking up. If they come back below this, come back and test it and do this, now I can trade short with this as my stop, looking down. So yes, it can go up or down off of this line. The market can do anything at once. I don't care what it does. I care about trade setups, and I care about understanding where trade setups come from, because that's extraordinarily important. Knowing what the market is going to do is, one, impossible, and two, not really that beneficial unless you are 100% certain and have things to trade off of, and no one is 100% certain about the market, or they'd be a billionaire, right? So you can have ego, and you can say, here's what the market's going to do. All right, cool. Good luck trading that way. Or you can be a person that looks at the market objectively and says, here's where the market's going to either accept and bounce or deny and turn. And, or either way, however you want to say that. And then trade accordingly, because that's how the market works. So you can choose to do what professionals do, which is that, or you can choose to have an ego and tell me what the market's going to do. I don't care what the market does. I care about making money. Money is more important than any of it, because that's why we're here. Otherwise, we're just watching a bunch of lines go up and down, and that's psychotic. So if you're not here to make money, I'm not sure what you're here for. And if you want to make money, then you should have a strong trading plan with strong setups and understand where the market can change and understand where you're wrong. That's why stops are super important. People tend to get winning trades and sell right away because they don't want to give that money back. And they tend to get losing trades, and because they want to be right, stay in a losing trade for way too long and give up way too much money. So they have bigger losers than they do winners, which is always going to result in your account getting drained. So if you want to trade the right way, we'd love to have you here. We'd love to teach you. We'd love to be part of our group. PT for the year is already up well over 1,000 ES points. We're just now a quarter of the way into the year, and he's up 1,000. You guys realize that's $50 a point? That's 50,000 per contract that he's up this year. Over that, by the way, well over that. The people in his room are swimming in money. It's insane how good he is doing. We're doing really well in my room. We trade a little differently. We day trade the SPY, which we're going to do today. Last month just closed. We were up 5,000 for the month. And given how many straight line moves there were and lack of day trades, we didn't have many trades for the month. We probably only had, 20 trades for the month. Usually we have about 60. We were up 5,000 for the month. And that's not my numbers. That is one of my paid subscribers. He tracks every trade we have and then tells me the numbers at the end of the month. I keep my own track of my own numbers, but me saying it is one thing. A paid subscriber who is there to make money with us saying it is completely different, because if we weren't making money, he would not continue to pay to be here. So anyway, that's what we do here. That's the ES. Over on the NASDAQ, I've got about 6 minutes here, so we'll make this quick because it's the same thing. The NASDAQ, we're looking at the same basic principle. We completed an ending diagonal here. We are looking for a strong bounce back to 24,904, which is the bottom of this consolidation zone here that they sold and broke down out of. Makes sense to back test it, as well as the top of the consolidation zone at 25,365. Those are the two targets we'd be looking for reversals off of. That reversal will tell the story. If it's, again, 3 waves down, we'd be looking for a move back up. Now, the difference is the NASDAQ has a clear high, a clear lower high and lower low. And it's in a more bearish downtrend than, say, the ES, because the ES last high was here, where the NASDAQ did not make a high. So the ES is a little more muddled, and one of the reasons I think it could make another all-time high is because of the way the chart is at the top. But the NASDAQ is much cleaner. So I do think there's a world where we can bounce here on the NASDAQ. The ES goes to all-time highs. The NASDAQ, say, hits this trend line and then turns down off of that. I'm just giving you an idea of what could happen, but traditionally the NASDAQ tops first because it's the leader, and then the ES tops a little bit later, and then they both turn down together. So we'll see how they do on this bounce, but that's kind of where we're at in the middle term picture. So, okay, we already went through that. And by the way, Andy, Brad, Robert, Optimus, welcome to the stream, guys. Robert, Ponzi, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you guys here. We've got about 5 minutes to the open, so let's get back to our trading chart that we're going to use today. We're going to go to, oh, by the way, these key levels here, put support, 1-day minimum, high volume level, all of these amazing levels to trade off of. These are based on options, and they come from Mentor Q. You can get a membership to that, and they will put them right on the screen for you every single day. They're incredibly important. The 1-day min is usually the lowest, not the low, the market can go lower, but the market will generally close the day above this level, and it will generally close the day below the 1-day max. These are kind of your shorelines or your borders, if you will. And just like the shorelines, we build houses based on where the tides come to. However, there are hurricanes. Like yesterday was kind of a hurricane. Yesterday, the 1-day max was, I think, right around here. And you can see they pushed well through that. So sometimes you have a hurricane where the 1-day max doesn't hold because the buying pressure or selling pressure is overwhelming. So just because you have a shoreline doesn't mean that this is an automatic, the market's going to turn off of here, but it does about 95 to 97% of the time close below or above these levels. Why are these levels important? Because these are where the market makers have their money. When you buy an option contract, somebody has to sell that to you, and generally that's a market maker. So if they've sold a whole bunch of calls and the market is going up, they're losing money. And where they lose the most money is these call resistance and put supports. So on puts below that, they're losing money, and on calls above this, they're losing money. So they have to hedge. So when it's above those levels, they have to start buying futures, which causes price to squeeze, which causes the big moves that you see that happen very quickly. Below puts, they have to start buying puts. Or below this support, they have to start buying put futures, which causes the market to squeeze down, which is why you see the waterfall effects that you do. So those levels are extraordinarily important to know and understand. I have a link for that in the description. You get a discount on it if you want to check it out. It's the only product I promote. The only. I don't tell you about Bitforce and all these dumb things that are bullshit. I give you real products that have real value that I personally use. So I hope you guys are interested in using those types of things because they're very, very helpful. Okay, I'm going to get Squeeze Sniper turned on. I need to do a couple things here real quick, guys. Okay, so we actually just had a buy signal, it looks like. Yeah. So we won't get we're going to need the market to go down a little bit to get a buy. No, we won't even get that. We'll need the market to go up, and then maybe we'll get a sell signal off the 1-day max area. But right now we are not at risk for getting a buy or a sell, because if the market goes back down, it will reset, and because of the new filters, you won't get a buy signal, which has saved us, I can't tell you how many trades. We just updated Pivot Point Pro, and the updates are incredible. On a day like yesterday, it would have fired about 20 shorts against that move up because of how it looks for resistance to work. And all of them would have been losers. But because of the new filters we put in to take those things out, it has saved us loads and loads of money, and we were already making money. So we're doing even better now. Anyway, let me get situated here. I want to add the new squeeze on here. Indicator, my scripts. So we're going to split screen this because this needs to be on the 1-minute chart. And we're going to close that trade log because that's annoying. So you can always open the trade log and view it and see the stats. And then all this does is go back and get all of the data for all of the trades. You can see in the NASDAQ, we're a 78% win rate, and we've made 3,454 points. Actually, a little less because I took the hourly off, so it's going to be a little less than that. But 2,742 on the 5 and 15, just day trading it. So incredible stuff here, but we want to turn that off. Okay. Now I need to split screen this, and we will refresh. We will refresh that. Oh, so Brad, you were asking, this little circle here is what you'll see, and then you can hit update to the latest version. MentorQ updates theirs every day. So update, this is the 5-minute chart. We have Pivot Point Pro in here, yes? Yeah, okay. We want to be on the SPY. I'm going to turn these levels off. Almost there, guys. We'll get it all situated. There we go. We want this to be on the 1-minute ES chart. Okay. Take pretty much everything off of this chart. Holy cow, my dogs are crazy. All right. We are ready. Okay, so on the right here on the SPY, we're looking for pivot point pro buy or sell alerts. I'll keep you guys updated on when we get close to one. We don't trade the after hours, so you can ignore those signals that come in the after hours. They are better now that we did the updates, but it's still after hours trading, so it's not something we do. Squeeze Sniper 24/7. If the market's open, trade it. It's really, really good at what it does. Now, again, I won't be coaching the Squeeze Sniper trades because everything is on the screen. So you just follow along and use the entry and the stop and go. If you want to take those trades, I'm just have it on so we can highlight the movement. No Shorts, good morning. Glad to see the updates to the indicator. First week back to trading on prop firms, got funded and up 1,300 on the funded account. The indicator has been a huge help. That's what I'm talking about. Noah, good job, buddy. They are, I'm telling you, it's a incredible differentiator. It is an incredible differentiator. It would be nice to have a channel for people that have the indicator to share and help each other out. Yeah, that's going to be part of the new offering. So I haven't even got the marketing material. I've been working so hard on the code that I haven't done any of the marketing stuff, all the stuff to sell it properly. It'll have a deal with it, and one of the deals is going to be a weekly call that is just for people who have the indicator that we can get on and review trades and review any updates, review any questions, go through any bug fixes that might need to happen because I can't watch 1,000 charts at once, and you guys are really good at letting me know when something isn't working the way we expect, and we want to make sure those get fixed right away. We don't want guys, if this is your first time with my stuff, there's a lot of assholes out here in this business. There's a lot of liars. There's a lot of cheaters. There's a lot of scammers, and that's just not who we are here. I put my trades on real time every week on Wednesdays. You see the losses. You see the wins. I have somebody outside of me report my trades. I have TradingView report everything for Sniper. I have all of my people give me feedback, and as soon as possible, I get bug fixes out. We released Sniper like a week ago maybe, and we've already put one update out and one will go out tonight to improve it because I want you guys to have a winning experience. My whole goal here isn't to simply make money. I have a business. I want to make money. I am a capitalist. I am an entrepreneur. I am a person who has a family and wants all of those things. However, I want to do it the ethical right way, and I want you guys to make money with me because if you're not making money with me, one, you're not going to be a customer. You're going to leave. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I have about 600 monthly subscribers plus another 400 that have my indicators. They would leave if they weren't making money. They would leave if this wasn't right. And they would leave if I didn't treat them right. So if you haven't been part of my group before, know that you're coming into a place where your questions get answered. If you say, hey, why are we in this trade? You don't just get a trade and then say, no, you got the trade. I don't answer emails. I don't talk to you. I'm in my room every day. I answer every question. I answer anything people ask. I want you to be part of not only a team, a winning team that you feel confident in, that you feel like has your back. Because the reason I did this, one of the big reasons I did this is I was a losing trader for a long time too, before I figured out how to trade. For the first 10 years or so of my trading journey, I was a losing trader. It sucked. And I got into rooms where people would give you a trade and you'd be like, cool, I took the trade and then it didn't work out. No problem. That happens too. Hey, what were the parameters of that trade? Why did we enter that trade? Can you teach me what the idea was behind that trade so I understand, one, what I'm looking for, and two, why it failed? Nothing. Crickets. Or they treat you like you're a piece of crap, or they just don't care. And that's just not what we want here. We want people to truly make money. And the ones who truly follow the system and follow the rules make money, and the ones who don't complain. And that's what you're going to find in every room you go to. If you are a losing trader right now, if you look in the mirror and you say, hey, did I do exactly what he said? I bet you didn't. And not just me. I'm not this is the be-all end-all of traders. I'm just a trader that makes money, and I want you guys to do it too. Anybody you trade with that's reputable in this business, I guarantee you they make money. And that's reputable. That's a key part of that, by the way. I guarantee you they make money, and you would too if you followed their rules, but you don't. And I'm not talking about anybody specifically. Because listen, I'm human. I do this. You wake up and you go, this market's going up today. And then it starts going down and you keep buying against it. Oh, I'll just price cost in. Price cost no. And then it keeps going down. And then all of a sudden you're down 10 times more than you wanted to be because one, you added to your trade instead of getting out of your trade. And two, you had an ego and a bias. I have a bias. I missed guys, I'm so stupid that let's go look at it. And I'm willing to admit it because you should be able to critically review yourself or you will never be successful. My indicator told us to sell at the top of the market, literally the top. Let me take off this so you can see it. I think I don't have it on here twice. Okay, well that's dumb. Literally the top of the market up here told us on the weekly chart to sell at 694. We just hit 629. That's 70 points. This is a 6-month trade if you take it on the weekly. So we're only about 3 months into this trade, and we were already down 70 points on the trade. If you were taking options on that, you were filthy rich. And I said, no, there's another high coming. And guess what? There was another high right here. Not high enough to stop you out if you're doing it right, but there was another high. And I said, no, that's not the target. It's going higher, and then I'll short. And then it never came. And guess where I'm sitting? On the sidelines with my hands in my pockets, turned out going, why in the F didn't I get in at 670 or 697, I mean, and take 70 points of downside? Nuts. Because I'm stupid. Because I had a bias and an ego. It's human. You're human. So as soon as you can look in the mirror and truly evaluate yourself and say, where did I screw up? Who screwed up? Did Jake screw up? In this case, yes, Jake did screw up. Did Jake not take the trade, or did the guy on the screen who's telling me what to do screw up? In this case, it was both. So it was both. I admit it. I made a mistake because I'm human. We're all human. And until you can trade like a robot, and I'm serious, trade like a robot, no emotion whatsoever, click buy when it says buy, click sell when it says sell, stop when it says stop, and not look at what happens next. Because what happens to us, and this is what they do. This is called, I'll tell you something here in just a second. So we click buy like right here. And then the market comes down like this, stops us out. And then the next thing that happens is this. And we're like, I should have never got out of the trade. I should have just bought more. No, you shouldn't have. You hit your stop. You should have got out. You had a trading plan. Follow your plan. You should not have gotten out of the stayed in the trade. You should follow the plan. You're going to miss moves. You are going to miss moves. Just understand that. I'm writing a book right now. The first half of the book is all about how the market is rigged, because the market is rigged. Not how you guys think. They're not out there to find Billy Stop. They're out there to set mental conditioning between the algorithms, between the market makers, and between the analysts. They're setting mental conditioning and bias and ego into your brain of what the market should do and where. And then what do? Everybody says, oh, CPI is going to be nasty tomorrow, so we're expecting this. And what do? They give you this, they get everybody short, and then they do this, right? It's just a trap. It's a conditioning trap. And as soon as they have everybody on board, and they do, because everybody watches the same shows, everybody reads the same books, everybody watches the same charts, and they run the same traps over and over and over again. As soon as you realize what those traps are, you will be an incredibly powerful trader. Incredibly powerful. And guess what? You're still going to get trapped because they're really hard. Making money in the market is really hard and takes a ton of discipline. So if you can do that, and it takes a lot of work, you're not going to join a service as a losing trader and be a winning trader next week unless you were an insanely disciplined person and you just walked in and did it. What I would rather have, honestly, is I would rather have a 18-year-old kid who just came into some money get into my room with never seeing the stock market before and train him from day one than have a 35-year-old person who's traded for 15 years and has money and wants to trade, because the 18-year-old kid has no bad habits and has no understanding of what they're supposed to do, and the 35-year-old has horrible habits and doesn't understand anything about trading properly, and they will never break their habits. Not never. You get some guys that turn around, but for the most part, you just find these people that think that there's a magic bullet, think that these indicators work 100% of the time. I can tell you right now that ours works 78% of the time is an outrageous number. You just don't see that. The amount of value it's delivering right now, I'm blown away by it. I can tell you it's insane. So that's my 2 cents while we wait for trades. Nothing coming up here soon, so unless it's going to be on Squeeze Sniper, but it doesn't look like just viewing a chart, maybe a long coming up, but for Pivot Point Pro, there's not going to be anything for a minute here. Anyway, welcome to the stream. I ramble when there's nothing going on. Do you guys have questions? Do you guys have similar experiences? Do you guys have issues with trading rooms where people aren't honest or ethical? I think one of my favorite things that I get is I appreciate your honesty and ethical way of doing things. I get it a lot because I try to tell the truth. When things are bad, I tell the truth. When things are good, I tell the truth, and I think it's the only way to do this. Hello, Jacob. I'm late. What I miss? Well, you missed all the updates to Sniper that are incredible, George. If you want to go watch that, you missed the update for the market. But other than that, nothing. There's been no trades. Oh, you missed about a 10-minute rant of me being me, ranting about how traders fail and why. But other than that, nothing. Okay, we're moving down here. We might get something. We'll see. Definitely not going to get a sell because of the market dynamic right now, but could get something on Squeeze Sniper. We'll see. Cats at home. Nice information today. I appreciate that, Cats at home. Cats at home, do you ever go out of home? Welcome to the stream, by the way, George and Cats. I always feel like that's a personal attack because Kentucky can't ever win in the tournament anymore, and you just signed on as an anti-Cats person, like Kentucky Wildcats, but I don't think it is. I think you just have a lot of cats, maybe. I don't know. People have screen names for lots of reasons. I have no idea. Might as well say go blue. Well, now you're getting on my good side, unless you mean Michigan. And even then, I don't mind Michigan. I'd rather they win the championship than anybody else in that Final Four. The Cats are in the Garden today. Well, that's where they should be. They're probably out there catching mice and birds. And they're just like big fat orange cats. Big fat orange cats just lay around. Whether those called tabbies or something. I don't know. I'm not that smart about cats. UK, Jack Barnes. What's your favorite color, baby? Blue and white. This is a bittersweet time of year for me. The weather's great. I love summer. I love the spring. I love camping. I love being outside and climbing mountains, doing all that stuff. But I hate that on the weekends there's literally nothing sports related to watch. Baseball is the worst sport that's ever been invented. I don't know. Soccer's pretty bad too, but I have a lot of overseas people here, so that's probably a mean thing to say. I watch the World Cup. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a patriot, so on the rare chance America makes the World Cup, I'll watch it. But that's usually disappointing as well. And it's like 2.5 hours. It's like 7 seconds of excitement for 2.5 hours of viewing, and that's pretty awful to watch for me. Yeah, the NHL playoff picture is pretty good, and you do get to watch that. I'm a little disappointed in the Knights. I can't understand why you would fire a coach that won the Stanley Cup in a new organization. Like the Knights are like 7 years old, and they've already won a Stanley Cup, and the guy who won the Stanley Cup just a couple of years ago gets fired, and they're still probably going to make the playoffs this year. And you've got a team that's all old except for Eichel. I mean, I don't know what you want the guy to do, but yeah, I would like to be more excited about the playoffs. I'm also mad because I moved back to Kentucky and most nights games don't come on until 10:30 here, so I'm usually pretty tired by the time they do. So I haven't been able to watch a ton of games this year. So unfortunately, my playoff NHL excitement has been dulled this year, but I'm always ready for the playoffs, and I'll stay up to watch those games. Jacob, you're a true human being. Well, I hope so. My wife will be disappointed if I'm a robot. Or maybe I don't know. If you program me right, she might not be. You would go out of your way to communicate hard, learn lessons to random people on YouTube because you're passionate about what you do. That is all true. I, I do talk to random people. Sometimes it feels like I'm just talking to my microphone, but you guys being here is pretty cool. And I've been a coach my whole life. I coached kids in football growing up. I was a football player, and I played basketball. I was just too short and um, slow to be a good basketball player. Football I could play. I could shoot the heck out of the ball. I just can't. I was never tall enough. But I coached kids and won championships at every level, and I like to win. So the stock market was a place for my competitive drive to go. And then I like to help people win. I didn't like coaching because I got wins. I like coaching because when the kids won and they turned around and that face that we just won the championship face is the neatest thing you could ever do. You could, or if you see, I remember one kid, Kyle, what was his last name? Kyle Mullins? I forget. Anyway, never played football before in his life, was scared to death, but was so athletic. I knew he could be a good player. And I worked with him all year, and by the end of the year, he was a superstar. And, that kid still talks to me today. And not very often, but like he'll message me on Facebook, hey, coach, just seeing what you're up to. Like stuff like that is pretty neat. I've met people from my trading rooms out live and in person. John in California has been through some tragedy. I've met him in person. He's a pastor and a super nice guy. He's it's just really neat to see people succeed. I am shocked at how cynical and selfish the world has become. I can be selfish. I'm certainly looking out for number one in the big picture, but the whole I don't know, the whole part of humanity and stuff is to see unity and people succeed and try to help people push them up and get out of places that suck. I coached a lot of kids that were in very tough situations, financially and with their families, and helping them just have somebody to talk to and stuff. That's all good stuff. I love that stuff, and that's part of the reason I do this. Roof Doc. Jack Barnes knows who I'm talking about. Jack, I got to ask, why are you Pumpkin Barnes? What's pumpkin? What time frame do you trade Sniper on? So, with the new update, you're going to trade it on the 1 minute. However, you're not trading the 1 minute chart. I have to be clear about that. So, we're on the 1 minute chart. You can see here. And that's where all of the entries are derived from. The reason is each 5-minute candle, 15-minute candle, 1 hour candle, they're all made of tiny 1 minute candles, right? So if the entry comes in the middle of a 5-minute candle and then price moves quite a bit from there and we can't snap that entry because trading views limitations, the 1 minute candle captures the entry. So the 1 minute that thing fired in the middle of the 5-minute candle, we get that entry. And then it tells you, so let's go back to this trade right here. It tells you that this is a setup time frame of 5 minutes. It's an entry of 66.1375 and a stop. This one happened to actually be exactly on the candle, so that one didn't change, but we're getting way more accurate entries doing this. And what you do is you come in here to the settings and you select, I have it for the 5 and the 15 right now. You could have the hourly too. I'm not looking to swing trade futures very often. I usually want to get in and out. So I'm just trying to look at smaller time frames in that regard. But both time frames, all time frames up to the 4 hour anyway, have been extremely successful. So I'm just trading these two for now, but the hourly would be something that wouldn't be a bad one to trade as well. But you trade in the new update, which will go out tonight, you trade all of them on the 1 minute chart. So you're on the 1 minute chart, and like this is a 5-minute trade. If you go back a little bit here, this one was a 5-minute trade. This one was a 15, time frame 15. So set up time frame 15. So that just tells you where you're at. And then you set one alert. You just go to add alert and you just put in long or short condition, and you can put in whatever you want if you want to put in other alerts as well. But I'm saying if you just want the long and short entries, you select that for this indicator on this chart, and you just it will send you each alert that comes up that you have selected. So if you have the 5 minute selected, when this or the 15 selected, when this one came on, it won't come on the chart if you don't have it selected, right? So if I turn this off, you're not going to see it anymore. Eventually, there. Now it turned into a 5. So here is a little thing to understand. If you have two trades that happen in the same time frame, so the 15 was earlier, it's not also going to launch the 5. It's just going to keep you on the 15-minute trade, and the 5 will not launch. So this turned into a 5-minute trade because there was a 5-minute trade inside of that 15-minute trade, but it will only give you the trade that's active, and the 15 had already launched its trade back here. So the 5 is not on the chart. So anyway, you set your alert, and if you only have the 5-minute, you're only going to get alerted for the 5-minute. If you have all of them selected, you get alerted for all of them. But anyway, yeah, see, the 15 comes in, and then you get that. And welcome to the stream, Otis. True human being means having the qualities other people should aspire to. Wow. Thank you, George. That means quite a lot. I thanks. That's pretty cool, and I appreciate that a lot. I try very hard to do that. My dad always said that all you have in this world is your word and your credit, and if you ruin both of them, you're gonna have a really hard time, or ruin either of them, you're gonna have a hard time. So, in my younger days, I ruined some things, but you live and you learn and you mature and you get better. And thank you. Jack Barnes, my grandfather, is an American painter. Oh my God, that's cool. He painted me a sign that says pumpkins, 25 cents, and my college roommates started calling me Pumpkin Barnes. That's pretty cool. Joseph, welcome to the stream. Jack Barnes, Bob Ross would be a fan of your grandfather for sure. We'll just put a beautiful pumpkin right here. We won't tell anybody about that pumpkin. Maybe charge 25 cents for it. Oh, slow choppy open. Let's see. We opened at 653.85. 656. So a quick sharp move up, quick sharp move down, and then we're just kind of sideways. So we'll see if we get a breakout. No squeeze. Oh, nope. As I say that, a squeeze is starting to build on the 5-minute chart. ES, not on the NASDAQ yet. And to be very clear, that squeeze starting to build has nothing to do with squeeze sniper in the sense that that means a trade is coming. Squeeze sniper has its while it involves TTM logic because it's a really good squeeze indicator, that is not the only thing it does. It is going through a whole bunch of different data and compiling it, and then once all of that data meets the criteria, that's when you get a squeeze. And part of it is that a squeeze is building, and there comes the squeeze build on the NASDAQ as well. Part of it is that a squeeze is building, but there's a whole bunch of other inputs that have to be right as well for a squeeze to happen. Oh, the live stream of Jake chewing ice. That's super exciting. It's like watching paint dry. Jack, I missed your comment where you said obligatory PSU pride. Are you a Penn State grad? So far, this is a digestion day, and I think that it is fairly likely to continue in that way. Um, I have a meeting at 11 today, so at about 10:30, if nothing's going on, I will have to cut it short for the live stream. Also, if you are in my room, the call might be at 12:15 today. That meeting is from, it says 11 to 12. Sometimes it goes till 12. Sometimes it goes to like 11:45. So we'll just have to see how quickly it goes. But I'll probably move the meeting or the call to 12:15 today, just so it's not an issue. Grew up in Pennsylvania, so kind of forced upon us to go to University Park. Yeah, man, you guys had some crazy stuff going there. Were you much like Bruce Cassidy, Sundance Kid, Bruce Cassidy getting fired for the Knights after winning a championship? Were you surprised or happy that they fired Franklin after going to the college football playoff, even though he had a bad year? I think everybody has a bad year sometimes. I thought that that firing was a mistake, and I think it's really hard to find guys who can get you to the college football playoff, and you can easily ruin universities that used to be powerhouses. Ask Nebraska. You know, LSU fired Les Miles for only winning 10 games a year and not beating Nick Saban, which no one could do. And then hired Ed Ogeron, who got lucky with Joe Burrow and that class of 6 Hall of Famers on the offense. Uh, and then LSU has been wondering what happened ever since. Sometimes you have to realize you are not Nick Saban or Mike Krzyzewski or Rick Pitino or whoever it is, and you're not going to beat those guys very often. That you just aren't. You can beat them some years, you know, but beating a guy like Nick Saban or Urban Meyer is a little tougher than simply getting a new coach. Jacob, with all the potential catalyst opportunities being presented by geopolitical events over the next 2 weeks, where do you see oil and GC going? Oil, I think, is always politically motivated, and that's the one chart in the world that I don't trust because it can be so manipulated and in a different way than the other charts. Um, I had been saying long before Iran, either way, um, long before that conflict escalated to where it is now, that oil would be taking inflation back higher, that we would be heading toward higher inflation overall, that we are likely headed to stagflation, and that is going to be a the overall driver of the death of the market. Um, that, of course, linked with AI and banks. Um, and I think we're headed right there. So oil, I think, will probably stabilize for a little bit, and then, like I said, it can be manipulated, so it's hard to tell. But I would say higher is the overall theme, or at least staying in this level that it is now, not going back down to really, really low price per barrel for a while. Gold, I think, most likely the top is in, but they do have one more shot at a high. I went over gold, I think, yesterday's closing call or maybe the day before. If you want to go check it out on YouTube, and I do those live at 3:55 every day, Monday through Thursday, except this week. Today will be the last day since we have Good Friday. The market's closed. What's gold doing today? I'm just curious. Gold's bouncing. We're expecting this bounce on gold. I set off a 404. They should bounce. Let me go over to a different chart here since we don't have anything going on yet. We'll come back in 1 second. So in my room, we've been into precious metals for a long time in my room. Long time. I told everybody what I was doing. Whether they did it or not is up to them. But we bought gold right here at this breakout. So as soon as they broke above this in April, we got in down here at 265 roughly. And of course, and we didn't get into gold specifically because I knew all of the metals complex was going to rally. I got into a thing called EK Wax. So if we go over to that chart real quick, you can see that in April of 2025 is when we got in. It was at about 49. Where's that at? Right here. It was about at 49 or so. It's hard to see on this chart. Or did we get in 24? I think we got in 24. I'd have to go look. It was at 49 when we got in, so it must have been 24. Sorry. I forget that we're already in 26. Yeah. Yeah, right here. So we got in right here at 49 in 2024. And it went all the way up to wherever this high was up here, 190. Well, I can look over here, I guess. That would be smarter. Oh, it doesn't have it. Days range. Where's the all-time high? Anyway, about 196 off of 49 when we got in, and that's where I put my retirement money. I've taken all but 10% of that out, and I took it out, back here at about 150 or so, somewhere. I took it out in stages, but the last tranche I took out at about 150, and I still have 10% running. But if we go back to gold real quick, I said they'd come back to this support right here, 404, and this was their chance to hold for a wave 4. So it's possible the bull case here is that this is an ABC for 4. It's an ABC either way, but an ABC for 4, and then you'd look for a wave 5 back towards 5 plus. But the, I think, more likely scenario, especially given silver and the metals complex and how they work in general, is that you're going to get a bounce back to this 454 to 467 zone and then turn down from there, and that'll be the end of gold, in my opinion. Now, they still have room for another high, so what happens on this way up is going to matter, how they structure that. But yeah, they are. Gold is, in my opinion, either one high away or already done from being high. One high away as the marijuana users' ethos. Just one high away. All right. Let's put this back on that. All right. Let's go back to our other chart. XLE, I'd have to break down, honestly. I'd have to go open the chart and look at it. I don't regularly look at it, so I don't know. I'd have to see what the structure looked like and stuff. Let's look at our supporting evidence today. Let's see. RTY leading the way today. That is good for the Bears. You don't, well, they're right on pace with NQ, but you still want NQ to be outpacing, and they're not. And that's good for the Bears. Typically, if it's a strong bull market, the NQ will be the easily the leader of the pack, and that's what you want to see, especially after rate cuts. And you haven't seen that for a while, which is part of the demise of the market, that NQ hasn't been leading. So RTY leading today, which is a bearish actual thing. Transport's very green today. Bank's green enough. SMH very green today. So your leaders are leading in that regard of, or not your leaders, your supporting evidence is leading. In other words, RTY, transports, and banks are green, and solidly green, which supports the rally. Um, and then your Mag 7 is pretty much all green, Netflix being the outlier here. So going to be very hard for the market to melt down unless you get a systematic failure today. Your other supporting evidence, you have a positive 800 ADD and kind of just sideways, which is why we're chopping. Hasn't really advanced or declined, just mostly stayed around 800. You have Vold is slightly positive and mostly sideways, so you have that as well. So far supporting a bullish outcome on the day. And that makes sense given that we're up about 1% on the NASDAQ, 0.75% on the ES, and so on. So we got in yesterday at 640 on the SPY. We are at 655 right now. So, or 654.95, close enough. 655 basically. So 15 points up from where we got in yesterday on the long. We already took a little bit of profit on that. Doing well on those types of things. If you didn't get long yesterday and you're not sure why we did, then my room is a great place to be, guys. You get a 1 week free trial. Feel free to check it out, investwithjacob.com. Like I said, PT's up over 1,000 ES points this year. He's just insanely good at what he does. Give me 1 second here. Here is, just so you guys know, I don't like to just say things because if I say them, sure, of course they're true. I like to give you the documentation, so I'm going to do that in 1 second here. That's why I put the trade chart on the sniper so you could see exactly TradingView compiled the trades, not me. And here is, I'll paste this in. There you go. Can you read that? Here is Matt's post about our trades. So results for March 2026, 104 on 50 contracts for 5,200. Good first month for the new indicator settings, up 10,007 for the year, which is incredible considering all the trend days we had. Yeah, and that's another thing, day trading has been more difficult in 2026 so far because of all the mostly straight down days, but a ton of trend days. And for day traders, trend days aren't great because you're looking for the market to come into a place and bounce and trade that, or to go up to a place and reject and trade that. And when it does this, well, there's not much to trade. So, still crushing it with the Pivot Point Pro indicator, even though if you came only on Wednesdays, you would question that. But like I said, Matt's a paid subscriber to my room, so he has no reason to even do that or post any of that. I appreciate that he does because it's kind of third party credibility there. So yeah, if you guys aren't making consistent money or winning, as they say, then come check us out. Yeah, I'll post one other one just for fun, just because this is we talked about, or I talked about why I do this, and this is the main reason here. This one just I get these a lot. Uh, Hold on. And they are really the biggest reason I do it. Um, AB, just the other day, this was a couple days ago. I just want to say thank you. Your room, together with contributions from other members, has been instrumental in supplementing my own strategies. I'm up about 100% these last 2 months. I can show pictures to prove it, but yeah, thank you. Those types of things, they're awesome. That's the type of stuff that happens pretty regularly if you follow the rules, and um, we have a lot of fun in there, or at least I do. I hope other people do. Um, I like making money, and that's fun to me. So still building a squeeze on both charts. We could get a sell soon. That's a possibility, although this doesn't look like a sell day to me. Let me see what are the option prices today. They should be pretty low, I'm guessing. Well, low considering what they have been. Yeah, buck 50, buck 70. Yeah, so options are pretty low. This does not strike me as a selling day. So hopefully the squeeze is building up so that we don't get caught in a uh, trap. Got about 15 minutes. We'll see if we get a trade in the next 15. Otherwise, I have to run to that meeting or get prepared for it. I can't just go in blindly. Hopefully, we get something, but it's been a pretty choppy morning. Not a whole lot to trade in here. Even though there have been a couple of what I would call okay moves, they're happening inside of basically one bar, maybe two bars, and you have to be able to establish a base trend switch. And 1 to 2 bars doesn't establish anything. It's just spike, spike, spike. So nothing really happening. It's kind of a boring day, which is another Wednesday of love here on the trading channel. I'm a Michigan guy, but Campbell from Iowa State will do a good job at PSU. He might. Certainly possible. You know, going from Iowa State to the Big Ten is a little bit of a change. I don't think he's a bad coach by any stretch, but when you go to places like Kentucky in basketball and you fail fast. And Penn State's kind of one of those places in football. Uh, and it's hard to find guys who can handle that. I think Franklin could handle it fine. I think he was a little unlucky with injuries and had Indiana beat minus a miracle play there. And I don't know. I think it was a little bit of a snap fire. And I realize everybody wants to win now and the transfer portal and everything, but I think it's a little unrealistic at most schools. Not everybody is Signetti. That's a pretty far one off. That's like astronomically one off. kind of overextended on the daily candle, maybe a choppy day. Just pointing toward that for sure. You may get like I said, we got a squeeze building, so you may get a move here that's up toward the pre-market high, or a little higher up toward the one day max up here at 659, or you may get a spike down that comes down into the pre-market low, but I don't think you're going to get too far out of range today. Most of the you don't follow football. You go to Penn State and don't follow football. Gosh, you definitely don't follow basketball there. If you do, you're disappointed a lot. Maybe you're a Penn State baseball guy. Who knows? Does that even exist? You'd be the only Penn State baseball fan I've ever known. As a Penguins fan, you were devastated to see Sullivan get the boot. Yeah, I could see that. ADD dropped quite a bit since the open, did it? Yeah, I guess it's down about 400. Off of at the high, it was up at about 1,000, a little over 1,000. So down a little bit, yeah. Still positive. Volt basically sideways. It's starting to drop a little more now, so we could be getting a short squeeze here. Well, not a short squeeze, a long squeeze. A squeeze to the short side is what somebody was trying to say there. That somebody was me. I was trying to say it. I guess I better get a. I've been talking so much, I haven't queued up any trades. I better get one queued up here. We might have something brewing. Right now, I will be sitting on a 654 put and see what we get. NASDAQ squeeze released to the upside, I guess we'll call it. It certainly wasn't a monster squeeze, but about 80 points or so on the 5 minute chart, or maybe a little, yeah, about 80 points on the 5 minute chart. So I guess that's okay. So it does look like it's a small upside squeeze, nothing to write home about or be excited about so far, anyway. Who's trading this awesomeness right here? Terrible. Terrible day for trading. You'd think we have a Fed meeting this afternoon or something. We don't, but you'd think we do. Let's see. Today is Wednesday. We had the retail sales this morning. Got a Fed speaker now. 10. No. Okay. Everything's done for today. Tomorrow you got jobless claims. That'll probably be a decent catalyst. Trade deficit. And then the unemployment Friday will be off. Well, Friday's a close. The markets are closed. All right, they poked this high right here, this little baby high. So this is kind of the chance for the bears to let this kind of ugly rising pattern here fail if they can. If not, they're going to come up and challenge 28, 66, 28. Not exactly an ascending triangle, but pretty close. Pretty close. So this is going to be the failure point. They broke above it. If they break back below this trend line, you could see them kind of melt down here. And when I say melt down, maybe 6,600 or something. No, I don't think today's going to have any kind of massive selling event. Trump speaks at 9 p.m. Eastern. That seems late. That seems like a perfect time to trap people. Sean, welcome to the stream. Dodo, you still walk away if you don't have a trade by 7:30. All right, let's see if we get a short here or not. If we don't, then that'll do it for me because I have to, like I said, I have a meeting at 11 I got to run to. So nothing much going on so far, but they are building a little compression pattern here that typically will break out to the upside. But if it does fail, it's going to fail at least to the bottom of the triangle, and then 65.90 would be next. Keep in mind this is the 1 minute chart over here on the left. So you're not expecting huge moves off of 1 minute patterns. After compression comes expansion, though. FYI, if you are curious about trying to preload anything for Squeeze Sniper, the only thing I can give you for that is that if the 8 EMA is above the 21 EMA, you're not going to get a short squeeze. And if the 8 EMA is below the 21 EMA, you're not going to get a long squeeze. So the 8 and the 21 must be aligned in the direction of the squeeze, with the 8 above for longs and 8 below for shorts. So if you're looking at a chart and wondering which way a squeeze might fire, if one is going to fire, you can start there. Every time I tune in for this, we get nothing. The market makers are out to get me. They're out to get everybody. Wednesdays suck. They have been the worst trading days. I don't know what it is about Wednesdays, but man, they have not been good. Either the market's in a strong trend or does this crap, and it's just been like watching paint dry. It's one of the I guess I can move it off of Wednesdays and maybe do it on Tuesdays, but very very annoying. I'll say that, Signal Goose. And welcome to the stream. Sunny, good morning, JG. What are the chances that ES and NQ reverse from the 200, which would act as resistance? I think a small rejection would be likely. Let's see, where is the 200 right now? I have to look. Oh, yeah, it's way up. Yes. So 67.74 I think is very likely to get tagged. It's right between the 50 and 618. And then I think in this zone is very likely to, they can spike through it to the 618. That's certainly very plausible. And then come back down under it. But I think a rejection off of that level is extremely likely, since that is exactly what I'm looking for. See, I didn't even know the 200 was there before I did that. All right, guys, they broke out or they haven't broken out, but they held the upside pattern here. They're trying to break out of this little 1 minute ascending triangle, and that tells me not that we're going to break out to the upside, but that we're not going to get a trade here. And I do have obligations at 11 that I need to prepare for, so I am going to go ahead and shut it down. Hopefully, you guys were entertained by my babbling and my stupidity. If not, the new changes on Sniper. If you didn't see those, go check out the beginning of the video. They're outstanding, an 80% win rate. I'm going to put up the trade log here real quick. No doubt, as soon as I shut this down, we'll get a short that absolutely crushes. But let me single out this field so we can see it. Again, over the last 3 weeks, we've had on the 15 and 5 minute time frames, you can see the time frame right here. 70 trades, 55 and 15, 590 net points with accurate entries and exit, guys. It's just a really, really powerful tool. If we look at the last couple of trades here, we had to stop out on whatever this. So these are always annoying when it's right. See, you can see a short market goes down, but this I'm guessing there was some tweet, is my guess, because this is at 8:44, so it's not a 8:30 news analysis. It's not a economic standard. It wasn't anybody speaking. So I'm guessing Trump tweeted something, and then the market. This is what I call ants marching, by the way. The market was already heading down, and then, like, if you have a line of ants and you put a stick down in that line of ants, they're going to go crazy for a minute. But ultimately, they're either going to go over that stick or around that stick and get to where they were going. They were going to the sugar packet. They're going to get to the sugar packet. You just made them mad for a minute. So the market got mad for a minute, did this nonsense, and then went down. But anyway, it's a loser nonetheless. It doesn't matter what happened. It is a loser. But we had a winner here, and then as you go back, winner here. So it's that one was a loser. Winner here. So it's been killing it. Winner here, winner here. This one was a loser. Winner, winner. Loser. Winner. Loser. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. Winner. The only losers are the red bubbles. If you see a red bubble, that's a loser. So those are all winners. Those are all winners. Those are all winners. Winners. So there's a loser over here. This one was a winner. It may seem like a long time in between trades, but remember this is the 1 minute chart. Winner, winner, double, this one was a loser. Winner, winner. So it's a pretty awesome tool. You can see over here, I mean, we didn't have to go back through them all, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and 5 over the last 15 trades. So it's like I said, pretty awesome. Check it out. There's a link in the description. It's at a discount right now. It won't stay at a discount forever. I promise you that. So I got to go. It was awesome trying to trade with you guys. Nothing happening today. That is what it is. Thanks for joining the stream, everybody. We'll see you next week.